Hello everyone, thanks for stopping by. This is another attempt of mine trying to capture my experiences during travel in a vlogging format. I have attempted this in the past but with not much of success. I hope to get better at it. In fact, that is my New Year resolution, which is to get rid of my camera shyness. I'll keep this video short and sweet. Please support me by liking, commenting and sharing critical feedback. So here is me documenting my flight experience as I'm flying from Berlin to India after more than a year. I'm taking the Etihad Airways for the first time. Also, I'm transiting via Abu Dhabi for the first time. I'm traveling from Berlin to Chennai via Frankfurt. I decided to go ahead with Etihad Airways because it presented some interesting options, and that interesting option being taking the Etihad train from Berlin to Frankfurt and then taking the flight from Frankfurt. So I decided to go ahead with this option since I wanted to explore the experience of traveling via Etihad train. But unfortunately, Etihad cancelled the train between Berlin Frankfurt and Frankfurt Berlin, and the interesting part of the travel which I anticipated went missing, and I did not even get a refund. On contacting Etihad, they said I need to talk to the travel portal through which I booked Is My Trip, and when I talked to Is My Trip, they say you need to contact the airlines, and then as usual you know the story. So I got fed up and I decided to let go because it's not worth the stress. So I decided to book Flix train between Berlin Frankfurt and Frankfurt Berlin. Flix train has some real good deals if you book much in advance, and so I booked the Flix train between Berlin Frankfurt and Frankfurt Berlin. The day of my travel, I head early to the railway station to catch the train to Frankfurt. It is 6 a.m. and it is still dark, early winter, and the cold is setting in. Probably I reached too early, the paranoid me. The wait for the Flix train to Frankfurt from the Berlin Zuidkreuz station is painful as the cold starts biting my feet and fingertips. Luckily, the train is on time as predicted and all is well. The train covers the entire distance in less than 4.5 hours, which is impressive. I reached Frankfurt a little after noon. I decided to take the journey easy, so I had already booked a hotel near the Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof, which is the central railway station, so that I can catch an early morning train to the airport the next day. The Color Hotel where I stayed is for budget travelers near the Hauptbahnhof. Given the location, it is apt for travelers who just want to crash for the night. I grab a quick bite and check into the hotel. It is a perfect place for a single traveler. Nothing fancy, just basic but good enough for the price. Slept till evening and headed out for a coffee. To my surprise, there were hardly any cafes in this locality, in sharp contrast to Berlin, or probably I was not looking at the right spots. The Hauptbahnhof locality in Frankfurt is not a very respectable hood. You will find a lot of junkies, drug dealers and red light streets. So preferably stay away from this locality at night and avoid roaming out at late hours. Finally, I spotted a railway to go and grabbed my coffee and headed back to my room to call it a day as I need to wake up early the next day. The next day again starts at early dark hours. I take the train from the Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof to the Frankfurt airport and reached early as always. The Etihad check-in counter opened soon and the check-in experience was smooth. Polite airline staff impressed. The immigration counters and the security check were almost empty. I finished everything soon. The Frankfurt airport has undergone some renovation and I felt it looked bigger than before, or maybe it was just me. I had a lot of time to kill before boarding since I came much earlier. The Etihad flight was as expected, comparable with other international flights. The food was decent. The takeoff and landing was on time. I was a bit apprehensive about the short transit time at Abu Dhabi. There was less than 2 hours to transit at Abu Dhabi, but it went smooth. And the best part was that there was no security check at Abu Dhabi while transiting from Germany to India. So I had to just walk out of one gate and board at another gate. The flight to Chennai was on time as well. The highlight was the Etihad waiting lounge at Abu Dhabi. It is something else. I usually don't transit via Gulf countries. Now I'm getting to see the Gulf money put in action. The aircraft to Chennai was much smaller, the standard 3+3 configuration, which is a far cry from the Frankfurt Abu Dhabi sector. The flight crew did their jobs, but there was something missing: the warmth. Finally, I reached Namasingara, Chennai. The experience during the return journey was similar, with visible differences between the Chennai Abu Dhabi sector and the Frankfurt Abu Dhabi sectors. What was also noticeable was we had to go through additional security check at Abu Dhabi while transiting from India to Germany, which was not there while transiting from Germany to India. Why? Why this difference? I do not understand. People who understand such airport agreements between nations, please comment. I wish to learn the details before I get judgmental or passing any comments. In summary, my experience with Etihad had been a mixed bag. While the world-class lounge at Abu Dhabi and a world-class flight between Frankfurt Abu Dhabi sectors were the highlights, the less than underwhelming experience during the flight between Abu Dhabi Chennai, the train cancellation between Berlin and Frankfurt, and the additional security at Abu Dhabi airport while returning from India stuck out like a sore thumb. And that's my short video about my experience to India and back. Thanks for staying with me. I'll come back with more experiences in the new year. Till then, bye bye.